name is Brittany Isom, and I'm here to tell you the story about how we adopted our daughter Mariah. It started off September 1st, 2016. It was just a normal day at home. I was a mom, a stay at home mom to our daughter, our biological daughter, Kinsley. She was not even one yet, she was only about 10 and a half months. We had been foster parents prior to having Kinsley due to a family member needing to have their kids placed in foster care for some time. So my husband and I agreed, and we ended up taking care of my little cousin for a year and a half. That kind of opened up the door to foster care for us, and we fostered 5 kids in 5 years. Autumn did go home to her mom and dad, my cousin, and we had several other little ones that went home or moved on to different foster homes in the system. But after Autumn went home, my little cousin, that was really, really hard on our family and our marriage. And I was pregnant with Kinsley when she went home. We did struggle with infertility issues, and always knew that we wanted to grow our family regardless of how we grew it, whether it be adoption, foster care, to adopt, IVF, whatever that looked like. But we also didn't have the finances to do IVF, so that was one barrier that we were like, well, that's not going to work for our family, for our family at the time. So we decided to go ahead and do the foster care stuff, like I said, from my cousin. Again, that was very hard on our family and everyone, so we decided to put our foster care license on hold for about a year and a half. And then we had started talking more about, okay, Kinsley's here, she's almost 1. We did want to continue to grow our family, but knew that it was very difficult for me to conceive. And I had a very difficult pregnancy at the end with Kinsley, and it was really scary. So the thought of going through all of that again, and the heartbreak of losing a pregnancy and stuff like that was always played in the back of my head. So we said, okay, we would open our license back up again. And again, on September 1st of 2016, we got the call. It was a call from CPS and our foster care worker, asking if we will be interested in opening our home to a 4-year-old little girl from Detroit that was coming from a very difficult situation, where there was abuse and neglect, among several things that were happening within their home. That she had other siblings, but they were all being placed separately in different homes or facilities due to their extensive needs. But that Mariah didn't really seem to have any extensive needs or anything, that she was a pretty typical 4-year-old little girl. So literally within probably, I would say, 3 or 4 hours, CPS was pulling up in a van in my driveway with this scared, beautiful, curious little girl hopping out of it. I literally met them outside in the driveway, and she was absolutely beautiful, but so scared. I remember just seeing her little scared face and how nervous she was. I can't even imagine what was going through her head as she was ripped from her home and her siblings and all she's ever known. And being 4, I can't imagine, very, very scary. But she came in and she seemed to feel comfortable in our home right away. It was right before Labor Day weekend too, and our family, we always go camping, so we had that camping plan in place. So that was exciting to be able to tell her we were gonna be able to do something fun, in hopes to also try to keep her mind off of all of the negative things that had just happened in her life. And she had said she had never been camping before, so that was very exciting to be able to say, well, we're gonna go, this is what it is, this is what we get to do. So we went camping, and we didn't tell my parents that we were going to be opening our home to her. We didn't tell anybody. So we showed up at camp, and my parents, as well as my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and my nephew, they were all there. And so we pulled up, and this little 4-year-old girl jumps out of the truck, and everybody was like, "Who is that?" So it was kind of a surprise for everybody, but she like immediately fell in love with everyone, and vice versa. Everybody immediately fell in love with her. She especially formed a close bond with my dad because he gave her first s'more ever. So that was a pretty funny experience, her eating her first s'more and having marshmallow all over her face. So yeah, it was quite the journey. She spent almost 600, I think it's 544 days exactly in foster care before we adopted her. Her adoption date was May 26th of 2018, and we officially adopted her from foster care. It was a difficult journey with lots of parental visitations in Detroit, where she would have to go see her biological parents. Lots of therapy, as you can imagine, that being very hard on a 4-year-old. Lots of court dates that involved some very uncomfortable and difficult conversations and things being brought up in court that were very, very hard to hear in regards to why she was being, removed from their home. The extensiveness of the reasons for removal were so severe for one of the siblings. They moved to like a non-reunification plan, I would say probably within the first year of having Mariah in our home, just because her biological parents, dad was the main issue, but mom was not willing to do the things she needed to do or get the help or remove herself from dad, who was not a good person. So she chose dad over her children, unfortunately. So that is why Mariah got removed from her home, and she became ours forever. It was definitely something, like I said, that we had wanted to do, regardless, is build or grow our family, whether that be in my heart or in my belly. So that is one thing I always tell Mariah, is she grew in my heart, not in my belly, and that's okay. I love her no matter what. So yeah, she's a huge blessing, and I thank God for her every day. And so that is our story about how we became Mariah's forever family. Thank you.